Have you ever been told that weak bones are just a natural part of aging? That once you hit 50 or 60, your spine, hips, and joints will simply start to crumble like old wood? Let me stop you right there. Because what if I told you that doctors around the world are now pointing to one simple food? Yes, just one that could help turn the tide against osteoporosis. It's not a fancy supplement, not an expensive treatment. It's just a humble, everyday food that might already be sitting in your kitchen, quietly waiting to be rediscovered. And before you roll your eyes, thinking this is just another health fad, stay with me. Because what you're about to hear could truly change the way you think about your bones, your strength, and your independence as you age. Now, let me share a quick story. A close friend of mine, let's call her Mary, turned 62 last year. She's a vibrant woman, full of life, but she had started to notice something troubling. She avoided gardening because bending down hurt her back. She stopped dancing, which used to be her joy, because her hips felt weak. And then one slip in her kitchens, a simple slip on a drop of water, left her with a fractured wrist. That fracture was her wake-up call. When her doctor checked her bone density, the results were clear. Osteoporosis. Like millions of Americans over 50, Mary had bones that were literally thinning out. But here's the twist: her doctor didn't start by writing a prescription. Instead, he leaned in and said, "Start eating more of this one food. Your bones will thank you." And that food, the one I'll reveal in just a moment, something you probably know but maybe underestimated. Let's pause here and talk about osteoporosis itself, because understanding the enemy is the first step to fighting back. Osteoporosis means porous bones. Imagine a strong, solid honeycomb structure. Now imagine that honeycomb getting thinner, weaker, more fragile, until even the smallest bump could cause it to collapse. That's what's happening inside the bones of millions of people over 50. You can't see it, can't feel it at first. But one day a cough, a sneeze, or even just stepping off a curb can cause a fracture. That's not aging gracefully, that's aging under siege. And here's the shocking part. In America, 1 in 2 women and 1 in 4 men over 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis. It's more common than heart attacks, more common than strokes, yet we don't talk about it nearly enough. Now, let me circle back to the food I mentioned. Doctors increasingly recommend dairy, particularly yogurt, as one of the most powerful, accessible allies for bone health. Yes, plain old yogurt. The food that has been around for thousands of years. But let me explain why it's not just about calcium. Most people think bones need calcium, and that's it. So they drink a glass of milk here and there, maybe take a supplement, and assume they're covered. But the truth is more complex. Calcium is like the bricks for your bone house. But what good are bricks if you don't have mortar to hold them together? That mortar comes from vitamin D, protein, and probiotics, of which can be found in a single serving of yogurt. But when you eat yogurt, you're not just adding calcium. You're adding the building blocks and the tools your body needs to actually use that calcium effectively. And here's the part I find fascinating. Studies have shown that people who consume yogurt daily have significantly higher bone density and lower risk of fractures compared to those who don't. Why? Because yogurt delivers calcium in a form that's highly absorbable, especially when paired with its natural probiotics. Probiotics improve gut health, and a healthy gut means better nutrient absorption. That means your body doesn't just take in calcium, it actually uses it to strengthen bones. And let's not forget the protein. Bones aren't just calcium, they're made of collagen and protein too. Yogurt provides that protein, making your bones more resilient, not just harder. So when doctors recommend yogurt, it's not just tradition or habit, it's science now. I know what you might be thinking. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't eat dairy. You're right, a lot of people over 50 struggle with digesting milk. But here's the good news. Yogurt is different. Process breaks down much of the lactose, making it far easier to digest. In fact, many people who can't drink milk can still enjoy yogurt without the discomfort. And for those who are truly dairy-free, they're fortified plant-based yogurts made from soy or almond. Often enriched with calcium and vitamin D, the key is not the brand, but the nutrients. Let me share a bit of my own reflection here. When I first heard about yogurt being a bone health powerhouse, I shrugged. Honestly, it sounded too simple. After all, if something so common could fight osteoporosis, why don't we hear about it all the time? But then I looked at the science. I saw how countries with higher yogurt consumption had lower rates of hip fractures. I saw how doctors were using it as part of treatment plans, not just prevention. And I realized something profound. Sometimes the answers aren't hidden in new discoveries. Sometimes they're right in front of us, in foods our grandparents ate without thinking twice. Here's another layer of the story. Many people believe that once they're diagnosed with osteoporosis, it's too late, that bones can't rebuild, that weakness is inevitable. But that's not the whole truth. While severe bone loss is challenging to reverse, bones are living tissue. They respond to care, they respond to nutrition, they respond to movement. Even after 60, 70, or 80, your bones are listening to what you feed them. So every spoonful of yogurt, every walk you take, every ray of sunlight you soak in it, all adds up. Imagine that. Even in your 70s, you still have the power to rebuild, to strengthen, to protect yourself from fractures. Isn't that empowering? Now, let's get practical. How should you eat yogurt for maximum benefit? First, consistency matters more than quantity. Eating a giant tub once a week won't do much. But one serving daily, even a small bowl, creates steady support for your bones. Second, watch the sugar. Many commercial yogurts are loaded with sugar, which ironically can harm bone health. Choose plain yogurt. And if you want sweetness, add fresh fruit, a drizzle of honey, or a sprinkle of cinnamon. Third, think about pairings. Yogurt combined with nuts adds extra magnesium and protein. Yogurt with berries provides antioxidants that fight inflammation. And inflammation is another hidden enemy of bone strength. At this point, I want to pause and ask you directly, do you already eat yogurt regularly? Or is this a new idea for you? Drop a comment below and let's share experiences, because when we learn from each other, we grow stronger together. And don't forget, if you're finding this helpful, hit the subscribe button. That way you'll never miss the practical, science-based tips that can make your life after 50 not just longer, but fuller and freer. But let's not oversimplify. Yogurt alone won't magically cure osteoporosis. It's part of a bigger picture. Think of it as a cornerstone, not the whole house. Your bones also need weight-bearing exercise, like walking, light resistance training, or even dancing. They need vitamin D, which you can get from sunlight or supplements if your doctor recommends it. They need balance training, because preventing falls is just as critical as strengthening bones. But here's the beauty of adding yoga teats. Simple, it's affordable, and it fits into daily life without stress. It's not a pill you'll forget, or a program that feels like a chore. It's food. Enjoyable, comforting, nourishing food. Let me circle back to Mary, the friend I told you about earlier. After her fracture, she started making changes. She added a small cup of yogurt to her breakfast every day, sprinkled with flax seeds and blueberries. She began taking short walks around her neighborhood, just 10 minutes at first. Within a year, her bone density scans showed measurable improvement. She wasn't cured, but she was stronger, more confident, and most importantly, she got her joy back. She dances again, she gardens again, she laughs without fear of falling apart. And when I asked her what made the biggest difference, she said, "It was realizing that my bones weren't done. They were still alive, still listening." That line stayed with me, because isn't that what we all need to hear? That even as we age, parts of us are still alive, still listening, still ready to grow stronger. Now, let me add a twist that may surprise you. The real secret isn't just yogurt, it's the mindset shift it represents. Too often, health advice for people over 50 sounds like limitation. Don't eat this, don't do that, be careful, slow down. But what if we flip the script? What if instead of focusing on restrictions, we focused on adding foods that heal, adding habits that strengthen, adding joy to the years ahead? Yogurt is a symbol of that shift. It's not about saying no, it's about saying yes. Yes to simple choices that empower. Yes to nourishing yourself. Yes to the possibility that your best years aren't behind you, but ahead. So here's my challenge. To you, starting tomorrow, try it. Add one serving of yogurt to your day, not as a chore, not as medicine, but as an act of self-care. Feel the cool creaminess, enjoy the flavor, and know that in that simple act, you are standing up to osteoporosis. You are telling your bones, I haven't given up on you. And as you do, think of Mary, think of millions of others who are reclaiming their strength, and think of yourself not as fragile, but as resilient, adaptable, alive.